Hi, Lumineers! Hello, Lumineers! Hello! Yay! It's you! Welcome to the Lighter Side Show, live on Facebook. Here we are. It's happening. And thank you for hanging in there while we were situating ourselves. But now we have you captive wherever you are, early in the morning, coffee, cat and lap, or at work, driving in your car, hopefully not. Maybe you're just stuck in traffic, but do appreciate your being here with us. And Colleen is present today.
I am.
She has the computer full of EMFs sitting on her lap today.
Yep.
Maitland just
Hopefully I'll
channeled
still
a
be
session.
present with, I'm not going to get foggy-headed or anything.
You'll have to wait for Maitland's EMF session and how this is not what she likes. So now I'm going to buy Colleen a little desk so that she can get it off her lap.
I need one of those big blocking pendants.
Is that the little...
Like a deflection device.
If you have suggestions, send them our way. Those copper blocking pendants for electromagnetic frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
A copper suit.
A copper suit.
Yes.
If you make that, let us know. We'll give you our measurements. Jessie behind the camera is hysterical. Okay, we have a few things up and coming. There's 4 that I want to remind you guys about. If you are interested in any kind of mediumship, but you don't know where to begin, and you are truly a beginner basics, check out our online class for basic mediumship. That is going to be July 14th and 21st. You can be anywhere in the world while this is happening. We send the materials to you so that you have it to continue to play with. We have an intermediate mediumship class coming up in August, the 11th and the 18th. Mm-hmm. That is also online. You can be anywhere. We'll get more into communicating with spirits, understanding energy, frequencies, and color. Then the advance. But this advance coming up in August is going to be for those who have already been there, who already have a practice in channeling, whether it's trance channeling or channeling information from spirits to give messages. And we're going to be in a heavy practice session, as well as learning how to structure it as a business, right? Because sometimes our spiritual work and our business work in our culture don't, mesh well. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about how to do that a little bit easier. Then Luma Summit is coming October 13th through the 15th. We'll have over 15 presenters in a 3-day span, some mystery surprises. We'll have channelings in the evenings. We'll have food. So we're hoping to see you guys here. We're working pretty hard at pulling it together.
Tickets will be up very soon.
Oh, good.
I know I said that a while ago, but we're really finalizing, confirming some speakers and that thing. So
yes.
Yep.
One thing that I found out that's nice about this is our center's not huge. We're not a convention hall. We're not somewhere like in a hotel where we can fit 300 people. So the experience you're going to get is around 50 people. So it's pretty small and intimate in the room. We're going to be changing gears kind of quickly. So you might feel like you're just kind of salmon in the river, just kind of following everybody else doing it. But we promise class act. Now it's Maitland's turn, and I already forgot what she's going to talk to you about. Take it away, Colleen.
Maylin is going to be talking from her viewpoint. She's going to be discussing what it's like from her viewpoint being a spirit guide.
Enjoy. If you have questions, fingers to keyboard, Colleen will get them and Colleen will read them. And if you want, just kind of catch them as they come in and even interrupt Maitland and see how she handles it.
Okay.
She'll handle it fine.
Yes.
All right, for those who are sensitive, you might feel the shift even through the electronics here. So just take a nice deep breath. Know that you're in full alignment. You're staying in your body, and Maitland is probably going to come and give you a hug through all of this. Who knows? Okay. Jesse's watching me.
That's his job.
Hi, Lumineers.
Hello.
Bet you can hear me really well when I talk like that.
Welcome back.
Hi,
Or welcome
I was
back
just
for us.
here.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I won't touch that.
Yep, that's the microphone.
My name is Maitland, Maitland, and I'm so happy to see everybody. Hi! Okay, I have a lot of things that I want to say because I get to talk about what it's like to be on my side doing what I do for you. And if you have questions about what I can see and what I'm able to do or what spirit guides are able to do and help with, ask, because I want to clarify it for you. Because there's so many different ways of thinking about spirit guides. Some people see us as like angels, and like we're kind of up on like up far away from you in some other dimensional space, and that some people believe that we're all knowing, and some people have a belief that we can just do whatever we want and that there's no governing law. And some people are just like, well, it's just like a friend, and they say something, and then maybe, it's not real. And then I will start sharing about my number one pet peeve of being a spirit guide.
We want to hear it. That's what we want to hear.
My number one pet peeve of being a guide to all of the Lumineers and all of the people on Earth is the understanding of time. It gets under my skin because I don't have the language of your linear time anymore. And that's all that you're hanging on to. And when you're asking me a question, when it's based on time, about when is it going to happen, and I tell you when it's going to happen, it's just needs to be an immediate understanding that my time frame is not your time frame. And so it might be better, instead of asking questions of time, ask in sequence order, which is still linear, but it's something that we can both comprehend easier than talking about time. So you could say, is he going to kiss me before the date, or is he going to kiss me after the date? Instead of saying, when is he going to kiss me? See the difference? Because my conveying time frames to you is going to be more accurate as a spirit guide, with it marking some experience that's happening in your life instead of just leaving it wide open time frame. Am I going to die in my 80s, or am I going to die in my 90s? That's a better question than when am I going to die? Get my point? Good. That's my number one pet peeve. Because we can see when things are happening. But the way that we see it, viewed from you on Earth, is more like when you hit this part of your life, or when you come across that understanding, that knowledge, and that trust, now this can happen. But sometimes, like, he might not ever kiss you because you don't have the awareness to make yourself available to be kissed, because you're being independent. And when you're being independent, you're not giving any space for him to come in and give you a kiss.
Are you ready for some questions? Yes. Like, are you going to give me a kiss, Maitland? What's going on?
I'll give you a kiss. If you make yourself available. What's going on?
So I have a question from Nadine Gowdy.
Nadine.
Nadine asks, Maitland, are you your 9-year-old self, your higher self, or are you coming from the point of view of your evolved 9-year-old self?
Nadine, put your fingers down. What is the difference between evolved higher self and evolved 9-year-old self and higher self?
You want her to be more specific?
Yes, because
Okay.
to me those are the same thing. Because, but I understand what you mean. Like when I died at 6, I had some like training, some understanding, some lessons with that. I knew I didn't want to be just a spirit in my own story. I wanted to be a spirit for other people. I wanted to provide guidance. I could identify that I didn't want to grow up. I wanted to be young because I saw that as a value. And so that is an evolved part of my Maitland life. But looking at the work that I do, I am associated to my higher self. I am no longer involved in my earth lives. I'm involved in my energy lives and my higher self. Higher self is an energy life. So I'm not an angel, but I am a guide, and I have access to a lot of stuff.
I think that probably answered the question.
Did it answer?
If it didn't answer the question, Nadine, let us know.
Let us
And
know.
I'll do my best to find your follow-up. So Anna would like to know, Maitland, can you please tell me how many spirit guides we have?
For each person?
Mm-hmm.
So in spirit guides, so when, hi. When you're talking to your people, your spirits, your spirit community is comprised of your family and your friends from the life that you are aware that you are living, you. And then you have your guides, spirit guides that didn't incarnate into the life that you have, but maybe they had incarnated into other lives that you had. So there's history, or maybe you had a relationship with them in the in between, home or heaven. And then some of you have angels, higher beings that guide you and help you emotionally. And then some of you have what are specific like teachers or guides. And some of you call them gurus. And some have healers. So when you look at the number of guides that you have, I think labeling them is difficult, and labeling them to count is difficult because you don't come in with a set group. You don't come in and you go, you have 5, and these 5 are going to help you your whole life. Because you might have start with 5, and then 2 fulfill their need with you and you understand it, and so they can move on. And then you might get 3 others. So it's like saying when you start a business that you have to keep the same people in that business from beginning to end. And it doesn't really work that way. You shift and you grow and you collect energies that work best for what you're learning and growing with. And there's different kinds of guidance. You know, there's guidance from your deceased family, loved ones, friends. There's past life, future life guidance. There's higher self guidance, angelic. There's interdimensional beings. There's healers and teachers, naturalists, protectors. So
What's a naturalist?
the naturalist ones help you learn what your body is doing on an energetic level and how to connect to the source that it came from or from the planet that you live on. It's like getting back to basics.
So is a naturalist a spirit guide? It's something different.
It's something, no, it can be a spirit guide. They can
Okay.
give you guidance. They teach you how to get back to the core values of where you came from and who you are. Not the ones that get back to the wholeness and the simplicity of it deal more with higher arcing movements rather than specific individuals. You know, so they'll take communities or cities, or they'll take a century. Think of it like how fast a tree can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of how fast their work is.
That's interesting. I don't know that I've heard of a naturalist before. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. Have you? No?
Well, it's not like a fast result kind of a
Sure,
thing, so
sure.
I'm not surprised if it's not discussed.
Okay.
But it helps keeps the checks and balances within the the environment, the state, the government, or if you want to see it, checks and balances on Earth. And you can look back in times and see where a lot of this kind of touched base or really helped. And you could see the chaos where it destroyed it, separate from church to state to wars to, destruction, and then coming back to peace. So you could see a naturalist as a peacemaker. Peace between you and electronics.
Yes.
Peace between you and your government. Peace between you and your earth. Peace. So.
Okay. You ready? So Nadine chimed back in and she said, I guess I mean all of your personalities put together, your higher self, or you evolved into what you come across as now.
I've got my other experiences of who I am with me. But I choose my identity as my last incarnation to present myself because that's the one that gave me the big aha moment. To stay young. There's rats in the wall. Yes, there are. There's not.
We have a physical therapist who is right on the other side of that wall, and I think they have some of their equipment going or something. Yeah. So if that's what you hear, it's not rats.
It's not rats.
It's Dr. Kate.
What else?
Okay, so Amy Harper Willis asks, what are some of the most common signs across the board that our guides are around or trying to deliver us a message?
Ooh, common signs across the board. Chills. Boom. Number one. Where your skin has like a different temperature feel than what the inside of your body is feeling, or you get goosebumps, or chicken skin, or whatever you call it.
That's also my truth detector.
It's your truth detector. So,
particularly energetic truths.
So maybe, I see.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so if you don't have goosebumps, then it's all a lie?
No, no, not like that. Like someone says something and you're like, ooh, I just got chills. We do this all the time around here. And you know that's like...
That's it.
That's real. Yeah.
The second sign is it's like a breeze, but it doesn't create like a goosebump feeling, but it's just like this that comes over your skin or through your hair or over your arm, and it just makes you kind of snap out of it. There are some, those are more unique. Okay, across the board in general, name calling and touching, where they tap or touch, and you turn around and nobody's there, or they call your name, Maitland. And you look and nobody's there, Amy. And then you hear and you're like, what? So we like to do that. Knocks and bumps are sounds that we can create that get attention. So that happens. But signs and symbols are very easy. Signs and symbols that we love, that reminded you of our life, or some memory that you and I had together, then we can do those. Change the radio to a song that was ours. Change the radio station to my station. Change the TV to my station. Turn the TV off if I didn't like TV.
What would be your radio station?
My radio? We didn't really have radio.
Well, even now, do you have any music that if someone was turning the radio and you were to mess with it, what would you turn it to?
I still like big band.
Okay.
But Jamie listens to a lot of Motown, and I like that a lot.
So you keep the station on when she's listening?
I don't move it.
Yeah.
I like music, so I don't tend to do it, but I think locks are funny because everybody here locks their doors. And so when I like locking the doors when you're not locking them. So there are those things. And then some other ways that we get your attention that may not be as in general or mainstream, Amy, are yawns. We're trying to push our energy into you to get you to wake up or to hear our message or maybe to see it. And so sometimes we have to adjust your energy, and it's kind of funny because the human body will just go, oh, I don't know why. I'm not even tired. I don't know why I yawned. And it's very funny. So yawns are sometimes a sign of us adjusting energy so that we can talk to you in your head. Another thing that I like to do is hugging. So sometimes if you have a very tight or tense chest, and you're like, I just can't, and you have to take a deep breath to make it go away. So that's us squeezing on you.
It's like a spirit hug.
Yeah. But you don't really feel it like a hug. You just feel like,
Louise DeBow wants to know, who's your favorite spirit to hang out with?
Not Michael. My favorite?
Who's Michael? Archangel Michael?
Yes.
Okay. It's like...
He taught me a lot, and
Yeah.
I was with him for a long time.
But you don't like hanging out with him?
He's very strict.
Okay.
And then he's funny when I don't think you need to be funny. And so I don't understand. So, and he will tease me. So just like I tease you, he teases me. My favorite person, okay, besides my mom, I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll think about it and I'll answer, because that's a really good question. There's so many.
You gonna think about it for a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You lost your place. I would still have to say my mom. My Maitland mom. Because we died together, and she has encouraged and helped me do all of this growing, and she's so much fun, and we travel together, and we go to other dimensional planes, and I would say it's her. Mary?
Let's see. There is. Okay. So Kathy Howard.
Hi, Kathy Howard.
Are spirit guides specially trained for the person that they guide? That's a great question.
In general, nope. Not at all. But are
In
we
general,
trained?
no. But does it happen? Does it happen
It
where
does
someone
happen.
might have?
Mm-hmm.
And is it actually training?
It doesn't feel like training, not like how
Yeah.
you're thinking about it, logging in from 9 to 5 and
More
having
like
a ticket.
Preparation period.
Yeah, we get to merge with your energies. So it's kind of interesting because we have access to information and knowledge when we need it. We don't really need a training per se or a prepping period. But what we do need to understand is how to merge with your energy, especially when you're in a high situation, high emotional situation, or tense or conflict, or when you're with a disease or an illness, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical. That we have to merge with that and understand what your needs are and where you're coming from and help you with your end goals. We also need to know how to contact your energy and find out what your reasonings were for choosing this experience in life, because we can't overstep those boundaries. We can't push you into something else even if we think that it's better. So you have created a set of foundational rules, if you want to call them, or respects that we abide by when we're helping you. So when I'm meeting you for the first time and I say, I'm going to be your spirit guide, I'm going to come visit you, I'm going to come play with you, I don't need to know or prep anything about you, but my merging in with your energy, then I get to access the information about you. And through that, I can then pick and pull what I see that you would understand at that time and be able to learn and take and say, yes, that fits me, that's going to help me, and it goes with your fundamental respects that you created before you came into this incarnation. So no training.
Nice.
Okay.
So Jennifer Newton wants to know, what would surprise us that you have access to as a spirit?
Mrs. Newton, I can watch you when you poop.
That is not what I thought you were going to say. That's not what she wants to hear.
What was the question again?
Oh, Maitland.
I can watch whatever
So
your
Jennifer-
human body is doing, because it doesn't matter. You guys think things are so personal and private and secret and scary or crazy or kinky or whatever, and it just, whatever.
I was reading the question more like this, and maybe this is just the way that I was reading it, but like you could say, I have access to as much chocolate cake as I want, or I have access to TV, or I don't know. I'm thinking about something of that nature, not watching us in the bathroom.
Oh, we're talking about how it is to be a guide to somebody on Earth, but the access of things that we have here, it's only limited by what you're limiting yourself in your own head. Like if you feel you're not ready for something, then it's not going to be available. If I feel like I want all the TV in the world, then I can get all the TV in the world. Do I want all the TV in the world? Not really. It's not important on this side. A lot of the things that you hold valuable and deem important is not on this side at all.
So what are some things that would be important to the spirit world?
Emotional growth.
As a spirit?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Emotional growth. Because the emotions that you have in your four-dimensional planed earth it's in this container, all the emotions. And then when you grow outside of that container, there's a whole new set of emotional experiences that you can have. And energy responds to emotions quicker than any other thing, quicker than language, thought, reaction. There's an emotional presence first. So when all the words you know about emotions are completed, and when you die, you get a whole new set. It's very wonderful.
Do any of those emotions stay the same? I know you're saying they get a whole new step, but you're still essentially growing as yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So
You
some
still
of
get
those
to
will make-
grow when you're dead.
I gotcha.
And so you can have the word love, but the word love here is very different. Your word love on earth, it shows kindness and respect, and for some people, loyalty is a big one. And if you can, compassion, and if you can, beyond that, unconditional. But it's very rare to find unconditional love on earth. So the love over here, the baseline is completely unconditional, no matter what you do. So then you grow from unconditional into other dimensions of love. It won't make sense if I explain it. It will sound very kooky because there's not really words for it.
That's what I was thinking. I have to think of some.
But it was a
Let's
pretty
see.
good example.
I'm looking at...
She's looking. She's looking. Can we get a little music, please? That's the one.
Jeopardy theme song.
Jeopardy theme song.
Daniel Wilkes is asking, do spirit guides enter our dreams? And then what are dreams? I've had many dreams where I am being guided, but I can never remember the details. I just remember the feeling of someone guiding me.
I want you to remember the details because it's so nice. Yes, we can enter dreams. Dreams are the highest dimensional plane that you experience. Same with thoughts and emotion. So that's like in your fourth and fifth dimensional presence of being on Earth is your dream state. And a lot of dreams are astral projections where your energetic body, your soul, is leaving your physical body and having experiences with us. And yes, we can guide you and talk to you and hang out with you and show you the world beyond the one that you live in. And then when you get back into your body, your head goes, wait a second, was that real? And it starts to package it up and store it in some other part of your brain. But you know what? That's why hypnosis is good, because hypnosis can unlock some of those dreams that you've had, because dreams aren't like fleeting thoughts. Dreams are experiences. So experiences create memory, and it gets stored into your brain. So you can go back with hypnosis or regression and go back to that experience. Neat, huh?
Very neat.
Okay.
I lost the question. No, I lost who asked the question, but the question is, are you a spirit guide to any of our listeners right now?
Yes, a lot.
You're just gonna leave it at that?
I have thousands of people I guide. I'm very proud.
Do you have
And
any favorites?
I love every single one of them.
I'm just kidding.
I won't say Jamie. You think this is between you and I.
Oh no.
No?
What are you gonna say?
Well, just that Jamie is very accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that a lot. And we've grown a lot because of that. But when we talk privately, she can be very stubborn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's because she wants to do things
Her way.
Her way. Yeah. She knows that. I know that. So she's not always taking advice. I think that would actually surprise a lot of people. Be careful with her shirt. That would actually surprise a lot of our listeners is how much Jamie really does do on her own and not from guidance.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't ask a lot.
Yeah. She wants to do things in her human way.
Stubborn.
Yep. Or we're always pushing her to ask more.
She'll tell me, it's why I chose to be a human. Leave me alone. Okay. So she might not be on my favorite list, but my
So your favorites listen to everything you say? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, because then they would just be wet sponges. I like the availability, and if you were asking me to judge, in my opinion, on favorites, it would be the availability of the person. And for that, Jamie is one of my very, very, very favorites. Because I get to do this. It's hot.
I know, it gets warm in here because we have to turn off the air while we record. That's why. Okay. I'll find some more.
This is so much fun.
There was someone who asked too earlier, how does one become a spirit guide versus an angel or a naturalist? Or after we transition, is it a choice that we're given? I know that when you were Maitland in your last lifetime and passed when you were 6, were you then given the choice to be a spirit guide or a fish? Is that what you're doing right now? You're being a fish?
No.
Or is it something that you just kind of came into?
After the life when I passed away when I was 6, I realized I didn't want to do it anymore. Because of the feelings that I had around being alive again. I was complete in myself. I wasn't being told by anybody else that I was complete. The decisions of who you evolve into come from you, and I wanted to in turn help other people understand what I could remember after I was dead. I thought that was very important for people to remember that when they were alive, and that I think it would save a lot of suffering.
I think it's interesting that, at least in my experience, and I know that everyone's experience is different, you don't hear about a lot of spirit guides being children.
No.
That's very unique, and it brings a whole nother element to it.
Well, because many people just think that children are playful and that we're here to encourage you or to be guided by you. But I remember being little and understanding things that, like my mom used to tell me that other kids don't get it. Other kids don't know what you know. And so then I could say really big things and I would hold people's attention and they thought it was cute and it made them see it in a different way. And I wanted that. And so when I got to the place of deciding that's what I wanted, I had to present that. And to present it, I needed to then, if you say learn, evolve, open, accept, right? Because we already have all the information. It's just discovering how to access it and how I'm going to be using that with other people. And so I worked with Archangel Michael, who is an entity that really hasn't incarnated into bodies, but has worked on an energetic level to help keep the balance and protection of the entities who do come to Earth. And so I learned a lot about how to communicate to people and not be showing them too much or dismissing their goals or their destiny, because it's not going to do you any good or me any good by enabling you, by giving too much or by giving you all the answers. The work that's done on earth is really fun and it's really beautiful, though it may be seen as difficult and hard. When you're here, it is some of the sweetest emotions that you'll experience. When you look back in your memories, you'll see them so fond, even though they're very difficult right now. So that's why I chose to stay young. And that was my motivation of being a guide. And I basically had to be observed and helped. And it's not that I get to snap my fingers and choose whom I want to be and just do it the way I want. There is a governing, not by a person, it's not judged by a person, but it's more of like a governing emotional vibration that you work within, and it becomes very successful.
I know that earlier you were talking about how a spirit guide doesn't go through a training process, but how do you choose the people you're working with, or how do they choose you?
They choose me.
So Jamie chose you?
Uh-huh.
But how did she meet you?
She met me through Marguerite Romas.
Oh, that's right.
Her teacher.
Yes. So how did Marguerite meet you?
She met me when she started opening up her gifts and working with the police. I came and helped her.
Oh, okay. And then you served as a guide from here on out. I mean, I'm just curious about, I'll just use myself as an example because I'm sitting right here next with you. I mean, I didn't choose my guides. Or did I? And when did I do that? Because it's been shared with me who my guides are, who hangs out with me. And I know that transitioned loved ones hang out with me. But the other ones, I don't remember choosing them.
You chose them before I came into here. This
okay.
As Colleen.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a process that we can go through before we come into our human body of choosing who our guides will be.
Yes. And then there's also parts of you, Colleen and Lumineers, that you remember where in dream state or in meditation or in enlightenment or in an aha moment, you remember where you came from. You see parts of your home or your energetic home or heaven. And when you start to see parts of it, then you start to connect to those beings that you used to be with. And maybe you didn't ask them to be your guide before, but now when you're connecting to them like old friends or you're recognizing them, they start to come and be with you. And you develop relationships like friendships, and they start to have guidance for you. And you can build your team that way too.
So I think we have Jesse's
No!
giving me jazz hands, which also means 5 minutes. I've lost my train of thought.
I like this topic.
I just want to do jazz hands. So Alexis Rodriguez is asking, how can we encourage our children to hear and listen to their guides? I think this is such an important topic because if children can start connecting with their guides young and at that age, that they could know that there's assistance there and have them to talk to throughout their life.
But parents, some of you are so afraid because kids are big antennas And they can attract all kinds of entities and energies, and it might not be of their guides. And so I like to help teach kids that the dial to get on the right radio station is to be comfortable. And the moment that you're not comfortable is the moment that you need to be the lead dog and bite the other dog. That's really aggressive.
Back up.
You know what I mean, though. Snip at them to put them in place. That if you're encouraging your children to communicate and stay in touch, you also need to encourage them on how to set their boundaries. So the moment that they are no longer comfortable with whatever guidance is being received, then immediately it needs to be shut down. It needs to be put in place to where the child knows that they are in control of their experience on earth, because no guide would ever claim to have control over a person. No way. That's not our place. That's your human place. So if there's ever communication where the child feels like the entity is being the leader and saying, this is what you need to do, and you need to do it like this, and you need to follow me, and you need to, then it's not healthy and it needs to stop. But to encourage them, I would meditate with your child and have the child observe how you are setting energetic boundaries and who you are inviting. And I would have this be part of a routine, even if it's just once a week, so they can hear how you're setting your intent, they can hear how you're protecting yourself, and they can hear the questions that you're asking for guidance. So they can understand through an example of how to navigate their own. And keeping a good relationship with your child about if they're comfortable or not, and if they're uncomfortable, that they need to come directly to you and share it so they can help the child kind of manage that vibration and take care of it.
Okay. I'm going to give you one more question. Okay? And then you can share any last thoughts that you have with us. So the last question is from Portia. And Portia says, you mentioned that you guide thousands of people. So my question is, do we all need to call upon our guides for them to help us in times of need, or are they always there?
It's funny, we don't need a formal invite, but if you would like to, it's very nice. But when you are in need, when you are emotionally depleted, right? When you are in the insufficient category with confusion of thought, lack of emotion, lack of physical strength, or in conflict, we can energetically be present and help you navigate the system, help you navigate the situation. But if you are not in need, like you're in the bathroom and you're not asking and you don't need anything and you're fine, we're not going to be there. We don't need to be there. It's totally fine. But you said, I wanted to mention, I help thousands of people, and the way that I can do that is when you're a soul, you can divide yourself many times, and each division of yourself is whole in and of itself. And so when I'm with you, I am a whole part of myself, but I could also be in thousands of other places at the same time as well. None of it is depleted, which is very neat. Ooh, I touched it.
I think we are finished. Is there any last things you want to share with us?
I really like Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And
you like answering questions.
I do. I like answering questions a lot. And I think that this helps people on Earth understand who we are. Because I still have a Maitland life in my evolution, in my collection of who I am. I still have my experiences. Your needs or your asking for guidance from me doesn't keep me tethered to the earth or tethered to you or in submission to your needs. I know who I am, and I'm having a great time. And if I can help you, I think that's wonderful, and I would like to. So by asking for help, I will be there. And know that when you're working with your guides, if you're asking for too much help and you're leaning on them and you're not choosing to live your life, that we will quietly let you know you got to go live your life. And so if you feel like all of a sudden you're abandoned and everybody has left you and nobody's helping, it might be a little sign that it's time for you to start navigating your waters, but it is not a sign that we have disappeared. We're just quietly standing behind you as you're figuring out how to build your own muscles, because that's the reason you came to Earth. Trust me, you picked this. Look around your room right now. Look at your feet. Look at your life. You picked it. You picked it. You did it all by yourself. Yay! And if you don't like it, you picked it. You did it all by yourself. So now you get the right to change it. Isn't that fun?
That was really a cute song.
You liked it? You like my songs.
I love your songs. I would like to do a whole album.
A whole.
That would be so much
album,
fun.
a
Yes,
Maitland
yes.
album. I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, Lumineers. Do we get to say the thing?
What thing?
It's not woo woo. It's true.
Oh yeah, say it.
It's not woo woo. It's true.